Hello there folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is gonna be the fast and short video regarding how to find a certain state and if a character or more characters are affected or not by that state, because I have created a video on this already but it ended up as having 33 minutes and I'm not sure whether people actually have that much time to watch or would actually invest that much time, so I'm interested in creating a very short one. Okay, now without further ado, we're gonna actually dive into the console, and what I'm gonna write in here, it's the same exact that you can actually write in well, literally actually it doesn't matter. Let's actually open an event, a new event. Okay, and here in this text box you have something like event command 3 and you go to script. Okay, whatever I write in there you can actually write in here. Okay, let's actually write it in here. So in order to check so regarding states, okay, you have 3 scripts to use. Okay, so they start with game actors. Okay, this is the library from which we call on the function, okay, actor. Now in here between the parentheses you will have to write the ID of the character. Okay, your character ID is the one that you see in console when you load this, or F9. You go to actors, you'll see they are 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's what you write in here. Okay, usually they will appear something like this. You don't write the zeros because you will end up having some awkward results. Okay, you just write everything without the zeros in front. Okay, so if it appears like I don't know, 0 something like this, you cut the 0 and you put the rest. Okay, and then you have add state. Okay, and in here you'll have, I don't know, a certain state. Okay, now the state that you want to add is exactly the same case in here. You go to your state and you see what ID your state has. Okay, it's either you can see it in here. Okay, like when you do something like change state, you have here the character and you have the numbers. Okay, just like here. So if it is, let's say, 18, you just write 18 without the 2 zeros in front. Good. Now in case you want to remove a state, well, you kind of guessed it, it's remove state. Now these things, okay, these commands, these scripts here have been created by the developers of RPG Maker MV so that we can actually use them. Okay, these are not you know, don't use these logics towards everything, although all these things here work the same way. Okay, it's instead of add state, I think it's add HP. This one is a bit trickier, I know, but MP, TP, state, they all function, they all have these two same commands. Okay, like you can actually use I don't know, adds MP. Okay, and this is how you add mana points, but instead you write how much mana you want the character to receive. Okay, and make sure there are no letters because it has to be specifically a number. But regarding these, okay, states specifically, you also have another function which is called is state affected. Okay, now what this is exactly what you're gonna use. Now this is what returns a true or false. Okay, this will return a true or false in the sense of, is the player actually, is this player affected by this state. Okay, and this one returns either true or false. Now what this happens is this is actually loaded in a value, and that value is actually compared to what you need, right? So let's actually hit an example. Okay, now having these 3, okay, let's actually delete these, cancel, and let's actually go to a character of mine in here, to the second page where I made a mistake in here. Okay, initially when I was, you know, working at the beginning on this, I didn't know the full part, and I didn't know scripts, so now that I know them. Now the problem with this one is that this state in here, in this event and another event, this state called 79, okay, is gonna constantly be applied, and I definitely don't need this. Okay, so I want this one to be added if none of the 3 levels, because it's bombarded by paradox 1, 2 and 3. There are 3 levels, okay, and this one here must be added only if none of these 3 are actually present. Okay, so how we do this? Well, we're gonna use this. Okay, now I'm gonna leave this in here in case you still need to copy paste it. So it's gonna be something like this. You can either use this, okay, or you can simply load it in a variable. Okay, so it's gonna be something like in JavaScript, to create a variable you use var. There are other 2 options like let, for example, but let's actually use this. Let's say state, let's say state situation. Okay, calling it state, I don't know if it's actually, let's call it state, okay, because it's funny. Okay, and what you do is you actually write this again, game actors dot actor. In my case is gonna be 2, in your case is gonna be any of your actors. Okay, is state affected. Okay, now this one is actually 79, this one is actually 80, and the other one is 81, so we have 79. Okay, you can either do this, and if you do this I'll need to create a conditional. Okay, so we open a conditional, and then I'm gonna type if this state, okay, equals because it's comparison, false. Okay, and then we're gonna add this. Now what this means is if the player is not affected by this one, it means that this statement is false, which is loaded in this one. If this one is false, just like in here, this aspect is true, right? So the conditional will trigger. Wait, I'll need another parenthesis in here. You can use this, and you can say var state, actually var state, let's actually use 1 because it's gonna be 1, and for each state I have to create a new one. Okay, var state 2 for 80 and var state 3 for 81 because I have 3. But instead of actually doing this, which is something the the program will handle for you, okay, let's actually delete this and this. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to actually cut this, okay, and actually need to remove this. Wait, actually I can let the parentheses. Okay, if it is only one of these, you can actually delete one parenthesis. Okay, your conditional will look something like this. But since I'm actually interested in checking if 3 of these are available, then I need to add another parenthesis in here. Okay, because you have to check the value of this. Okay, so it's 2 parentheses in here at the end. You have to check the value of this, and you have to check if again actor 2 is affected by state 80. Okay, and check if actor 2 is also affected by 81. Okay, this is perfect if you want your character, okay, to be affected. Okay, so if the character is indeed affected by this and by this and by this. Okay, now what I need here is actually to do what I did initially. Okay, I'm gonna delete all these because, well, for my particular case I need to check this one. Okay, I need to check this one because my state needs to be false. Okay, if it were true, the way I arranged it 5 seconds ago, that was the good way to go. Now in my case, I need to actually do this and this, and I need to check state 2 and to check state 3. Okay, now this one will check if player is affected by the level 2, okay, bombarded by paradox level 2, and this one will check if 3. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is, well, simply the same thing I did. Okay, so let's actually arrange the skeletal part. We have an end, okay, we have a second condition to check, we have another end, and the third condition. Okay, so we have state 2. Let's actually put a space in here so that it's easier to read. So we have state 2 equals false, because I don't want the player to be affected by this state either, and I want 3 in here to come here, and equals false. Okay, if all of these 3 are false, then finally game actors dot actor number 2, okay, dot add state. We're gonna add state 79 to the player. Okay, and let's not forget to close the parentheses. Now this is exactly what I need. Let's actually delete this because I don't need it. This is what I need to write in script to add this one, and so that I am sure that the 3 states that can be applied to the player are not applied already. Okay, so this has to be applied. Now I can safely delete it. Is applied in here. Okay, let's actually write in here so that I know. Bombarded by paradox, and it's level 1. Okay, this is what I have to write. Okay, now what if we want to check multiple ones? Okay, if you have to check multiple ones, again you have game actors dot actor 2, let's say, well, let's say add state. Okay, 79 again, let's say this one, or we can actually go for, let's say, remove state. Okay, so if you have multiple actors, what you could do is you could actually, you know, type this for each. Okay, because it's gonna be the only way that I know. For example, make sure that you add everything or you will be met with some annoying errors. Okay, now that you have this. Okay, if you have something like this, 1 2 3 4, okay, if the heroes that you're gonna require, okay, the state for, okay, if their IDs are consecutive, you could actually use a 4 instead. Okay, you could use for I equals 1, okay, I smaller or equal to 4, I plus plus. Now what this does is exactly the same thing. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this one, I'm gonna put it in here, and I'm gonna put an I in here, and I'm gonna delete these 3. Okay, and it's exactly the same. Okay, now what this means is I is usually used in programming for iterating. Okay, iterating means going from one value to another. Now the first value will be the smallest ID. Okay, the smallest ID number. So let's say you have actors 80, 81, 82, 83. You're gonna put 80 in here, and you're gonna put 83 in here. Okay, and it's gonna check if actors from here to here have this. Okay, now if you want to do something, okay, let's say you want to remove the state. Okay, let's see, if you want to, so if any of your characters from here, okay, from ID 80 to ID 83, okay, has that, okay, because you're going to load I in here, which is the actor ID, right? So from 80 to 83, or I don't know, 1 to 4, whatever. Okay, if you want to remove that, you'll actually have to use a conditional. Okay, so for each of these you're going to use this conditional. Okay, let's see, this actually I'm gonna put down. Okay, so for e equals 1, so let's say from e to 1, we're gonna check at first. Okay, like I made a little mistake, so we're gonna check if they have that. Okay, so actor I, okay, from 1 to 4, from 1 to 4, okay, the I value is going to be loaded in here, and the game will actually test each of your actors if they are affected by, let's say in our case, the state. Okay, so this conditional will check if each of these, okay, is affected by the state that you want. Okay, and if they are affected by the state that you want, then actor I will have that specific state removed. Okay, this only works if you know, for loops work if you can easily iterate through those characters. Okay, what if you want more states to also be checked? Okay, then you can actually use another for. Okay, you'll use for, let's say j, and equals, I don't know, let's say 79. Okay, j smaller or equal than 81, because let's see, just like in my example, we have 3 states. Okay, and we have j plus plus, right? We're gonna do this. We're gonna push these 2 squares further so that we can easily see how they go in, and instead we'll actually use j in here and remove state j. So first of all, it will say, okay, for character actor 1, okay, so e equals 1, okay, e equals 1, then j equals 79, okay, actor value 1, which means 1, so it means in this situation actor 1, okay, is it affected by state 79? If it is not, then this conditional is not taken into account. Okay, if it is, well, game actor 1, this one, will actually have state 79 removed. Okay, and well, actually what I have to do in here is to add another one of these. Okay, so okay, good. After it finishes, if this was affected or not, then it will check again. I equals 1 again, because this one is actually the one that takes into account now, right? Because this only iterates, okay, from 1 to 4. It jumps to 2, 3 and 4 after this one has finished. So you have actor 1, you checked for 79, right? Were they affected? Remove it. No? Well, okay, let's check what's next. 79, 80, okay, because 79, 80. For 80, is actor 1 affected by state 80? Remove it. If not, 81. Is actor 1 affected by 81? If yes, remove it. If not, skip to next. 82? Nope. 82 cannot be taken into account because it is no longer smaller or equal to 81. So this actually fails, is no longer taken into account. So I will actually go to 2. And then it goes through this again. Is actor 2 affected by state 79? If true, remove it. If not, well, is character 2 affected by 80, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is another way to do it. Now the question comes, the biggest question would come, what to do in the case that, you know, you have a situation in which your actors and or your states are not consecutive. Okay, so you're actually gonna still need these, but it's gonna have a bit of change. We're gonna need to create what is called a collection, okay, or well, it's called an array. So let's call it actor ID. Let's actually call it actor array. Okay, and we're gonna create another array, which is technically a collection of data. This one we'll call it a state array. Okay, now in this one, everything in an array is included in square brackets. So let's say it like this. Let's say that we need to check actors 34, okay, 15, 29, it doesn't matter what order you give them, okay? They're gonna be taken in turn, okay? Let's say we need to check five actors, okay? Some people choose to extend the number of playable characters. Now in an array you can put, if you have 3 characters, you put the 3. If you have 6, you put them all. Basically you put a value, comma, and don't forget to actually end this one, okay? And you can actually end the semicolon at the end, but this is JavaScript, it adds 1 as well, so don't focus on that. And now in the state array, let's say that we need to check again 79, 90, 14, and I don't know, 12, 56, and you can actually add, I don't know, as many as you want, okay? Now the principle is actually gonna be the same, but we're not gonna be using these anymore, okay? So I, for example, will be equal to 0 in this case, because when you iterate through the values of an array, okay, their location in the array always starts from 0. That's a programming rule, at least in the programming languages that I know. I think Lua starts from 1, and even in Java and such, there can be situations in which they may start from 1, but that's a specific situation. They still have a value 0, okay? So this here is location 0, this is location 1, this is location 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. This is again location 0, 1, 2, 3, and now what we need to take into account is the length of this array, okay? This collection has a certain length, so we're gonna use that property, okay? I'm not gonna give too many details, just copy paste what I'm writing if you don't know programming, okay? Actor array, okay, this one, because we're gonna take this collection into account, okay? Okay, dot length, okay? What this means is e, okay, will iterate from 0, okay, from the first value 0, right, to the array's length, okay, which means to the value that means the length of this one, okay? Now the length actually means it's a bit tricky to discuss, but okay, let's present it shortly. So how long is this collection? Okay, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? It has 5 elements, so it will be smaller or equal to 5, okay, in here. But the point is, well, actually, let's not dive too much into details, okay? Just write actor array.length. I'm not gonna extend this video too long, and I'm still fuzzy a bit about certain things, okay? And what you're gonna do is, the other one is that you're gonna start a j from 0 to state array dot length, okay, and j++. Now in here you're gonna use gameActors.actor, okay, but you're gonna use a different calling in here. So what you're doing, you're no longer calling I, because I is no longer a value. I will equal the value which is corresponding to a certain position in the array. So you have array, okay, actor array, and you write I, okay, because your I now is going to be each of these values, okay? It's exactly the same as I said initially, right? But it's gonna read these values from here, okay? I repeat, these are the values of your actors. It can be any actors that you're using, okay? So actor array dot I, okay, this one, because of I will go from 0, namely this value, to the actor array's length, okay? So it will start from here till here, okay? It will iterate as many times as there are numbers or values in this collection, okay? There are 5 numbers, it's gonna go through all 5 of them, okay? That's, let's say, the best explanation I can give. And now in here you're gonna use state array, okay? Instead you're gonna use state array of j, okay? Now what I wrote in here, okay, is if I want to say what is the third value of actor array? Okay, so I'm gonna use actor array 2, okay, because position 0, position 1, position 2. Okay, let's actually load this and play a bit with it in the console. Let's actually add it in here, and let's finish this because I think it's easier to see it in here because it's larger. And now we have it like this: if game actors, okay, dot actor array I is state affected by j any of these in turn, game actors, okay, and it's gonna be again this one, it's gonna be j. Okay, wait, of null, wait, I did a boo-boo. Wait, let's actually delete this part. You have to press shift enter to add other lines in here. Alright, so let's actually see what exactly does it say. Let's actually see. Okay, I think I'm actually console. I think I've actually done a bobo in here. It starts from 1 maybe. What could actually go wrong in here? Like, honestly, okay, let's actually ditch this part because I really don't know exactly, but it should be something like this. You're reading values from an array, and well, state affected, state array. Oh wait, it was actually correct. It was actually correct. Okay. Sometimes I really don't understand JavaScript. Like, okay, let's actually ditch this part because I really don't know. It's gonna be something similar to this. I'm just gonna have to, I don't know, mingle a bit with that. Hopefully you've liked this type of video. Hopefully you found this one also how can I call it? Oh yes, hopefully you found this informative as well. I'm gonna quit this here because I don't want to make this too lengthy again. Yes, sorry about the blunder. I really don't remember this part that well. Happy RPG making. Hopefully I'll figure it out, and well, if I do, I'll post you soon. Have fun, take care. All this being said, you're loved and appreciated. Take care. Ferenc on board signing out.